Okay, this is talking about gravel being processed at a gravel plant. This is the equation they give you. Notice if you look at the units, this is the rate in tons per hour. The plant already has 500 tons of unprocessed gravel, and the plant is processing gravel at a constant rate of 100 tons per hour. So part A asks you to find G prime of 5, so you're just going to use your calculator, have the calculator find the derivative, and this is the value that I get from the calculator, and it asks you using the correct units. Okay, this is the derivative of this equation, so it is the derivative with respect to time, so the units on G of t is tons per hour, but since you are taking the derivative of that, it should be per hour again. So the units are tons per hour per hour. So this is saying the rate at which unprocessed gravel arrives. Okay, so that's talking about all of G, but I took the derivative and it's negative, so I can just say this is decreasing by 24.5875, and I talked about the unit, which is tons per hour at t equals 5 hours. Make sure you mention what that 5 represents. Okay, part B, find the total amount of unprocessed gravel. So if I want the total amount, I'm going to integrate that rate from 0 to 8. Use my calculator, I get 825.551 tons. Okay, part C, is the amount of unprocessed gravel that arrives is the amount of unprocessed gravel increasing or decreasing at t equals 5? So the amount of unprocessed gravel would be G of 5. This is the rate at which it's being processed at, 98.140764. So this is not the amount, I just plugged in 5 into G, which is actually the rate. But it also tells me, so this is the rate at which unprocessed gravel arrives. So at this particular time, it's arriving at this rate, but it also tells you the plant is processing the gravel at a rate of 100 tons per hour. So the rate at which it is coming in at that time is less than the amount it processes, so it has to be true that the amount of unprocessed gravel at t equals 5 is decreasing because they are processing it faster than the rate it is coming in. So this is your justification. Show me that you calculated this and is less than 100, and there's your conclusion. Okay, lastly, what is the maximum amount of unprocessed gravel? So I need to come up with an equation for the total amount of gravel. I know it started with 500 plus the rate that it is coming in. I need to add that amount, and I need to subtract off the rate at which it's being processed, which is at a constant rate of 100. So this is a general equation for any time t. So the derivative would give me the critical numbers I need to check. The 500 disappears, it undoes this integral. So this is your derivative. I'm going to set this equal to 0. Use your calculator. This is my 0. Let's call this A. So I need to take this, plug this back into the original, and compare it to the endpoints. So my endpoints are 0 and 8. Plug those back into the original for t, integrate it all in the calculator. These are the values that I get for the total amount of gravel. And I can just draw an arrow next to the value. This is the biggest value, so that is my max.